Hi, my name is Mike, and I'd like to take you through a quick and simple overview of a setup that we're using to work in conjunction with our IBModeler software. IBModeler is an application that's written that allows you, with a simple digital camera and an inexpensive simple setup, to replicate what you normally have to get from a 3D scanner. So here, let's start with the stand itself. What we have is a rotating stand. Very simple in design. This is one that we actually made ourselves for about $40 worth of parts. It doesn't have to be anything complex. We wanted to do it ourselves just because we have a remote control that runs to it so that we can do everything from our keyboard. The stand itself is nothing more than a very simple disc. This does have to be an actual disc shape. There's a piece of paper on top of it. You'll notice that it's green, and this also matches the backdrop over here. This is so that we can eliminate this color later on. In the movie industry, they normally call it blue screen technology or chroma key. You can also use a true red color or a true blue color. Any one of the three will work. The key here is to find something that's not within the model itself. So there's no green in this model, so we went ahead and used the green. The stand itself rotates very slowly. Only one thing to remember about the stand is you want to put markings on it every 45 degrees or so. They don't have to be exact. You just want to have something in there as a reference. We're starting with this small 3D model of Batman standing looking forward at the camera. And if Vishal over at the keyboard hits the switch, you'll see him start to rotate very slowly. Now, this stand only rotates one revolution every 2 minutes, and it should be very slow. That's what we want. You can stop it at any point, but again, you don't need to use anything fancy. I'll show you what we used originally for this. Just a very simple setup that you buy at a Staples or Office Max. It holds your pens and pencils. We just put some tape around the outside with markings on it and use this as a rotating stand. So again, it doesn't have to be anything fancy, it doesn't have to be remote control. Next, we move on to the backdrop. The backdrop is a very inexpensive piece of cloth that's actually, this one is a true chroma key backdrop. I believe it cost $15. We bought it online. We just put it over a cheap PVC stand. We bought the parts at Home Depot. Again, maybe $5 or $6 worth of stuff. If you don't have a specific cloth, or a stand for that matter, you can just use a piece of cardboard and just lean this up against a wall or the back of a chair, whatever you happen to have. One thing I will stress here is that it's better to have the model somewhat in front of the stand just so you're not getting reflection or shadow from the model. Now, we've covered the stand, we've covered the backdrop. Now one of the more critical pieces is the camera. Your camera setup on this, you want to make sure, first of all, that it's level, and also that your model is standing on a level platform. That will be very important later. So over here at the camera, we have this set up so that it's wired into the computer, just with the USB connector, so that you can remotely take your photos. This isn't essential, but it is helpful because every time you press this button, you do stand the possibility of making the camera move somewhat. You'd like to avoid that, so again, Vishal is just able to push a button each time to take his shots. And that's pretty much it. Thank you.